New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
What's going on? It's Jay Ellis from Knick Of Time show. Here to give you that Knicks talk just in the nick of time. And it's time to talk about a disappointing loss. The Knicks lose to the Pistons, 111 to 120. And we're going to talk about it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Funny enough, though, I feel like I should be more upset than I am that we lost to the Pistons. But I'm not as upset. I'm not exactly sure why, but I'm going to work through these feelings and introduce you to my guy, ESPN contributor, newly Bleacher Report contributor. So shout out to Lee, that gave the Bleacher Report, our Latin assassin, Lee Escobedo. What's going on, Lee?
Appreciate you, my guy. Appreciate all you've done for me and continue to do. Looking forward to representing KOT, the KOT family, writing for Bleacher Report and pitching ideas and working on my first one for ESPN as well.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Double duty. Gotta do it that way. But let's get to it. First of all, is anybody watching the stream? Let's see. All right. Roll call. Let's get to it though. All right. First of all, I want to say this. Knicks lose to the Pistons. I'd normally be pissed. Knicks did not have Cat. The Knicks fell short in the first quarter, had a lot of turnovers. Didn't rebound the ball particularly well today, but still kind of was in the game despite we were down. I don't know. I feel like there's been this pattern of the Knicks falling to these slow starts. But the only reason I'm not really pissed is because of the glimpses of defense I've seen once we got down. I think the presence of Precious Achiuwa and seeing Precious in certain lineups and seeing the intensity ratchet up made me think like, okay, although we lost to this team, the Pistons are improved. Actually, the Pistons actually shocked me today, honestly, because I felt like last year's Pistons team would have folded when we punched them back, and they were pretty resilient. And although I'm disappointed that we lost on Legend Night in front of all the legends from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, I'm still kind of intrigued by certain lineups that I saw today, and I think I'm kind of holding on to that for some reason. And I'm not super down. I don't know how you see it, Lee, but I feel like I should be down because we beat the Pistons 16 times in a row, and I feel like I should be more pissed than I am, but I'm not super pissed.
I'm on my Zen game this season, man. I'm not getting too high over wins or too low over lows. I think the most disappointing thing for me tonight was that we lost in front of the 40-something odd Knicks legend. Some of them legends more than others, but it was great to see every decade, even the bad ones, specifically the ones that I grew up in, represented with some of my favorite players. Jerome Junkyard Williams was in the house. Iman Shumpert was in the house. And my main man, Eddie Curry, put some respect on his name. We will get him on this show. I guarantee it before the end of the season is my number one thing I'm trying to work on right now. I gotta give him his flowers. Yeah, I wasn't too upset, man. This Piston team, I've been having many conversations on Twitter. This is not Monty Williams Pistons. He was fired for a reason. This is Bernie Bickerstaff, who emphasizes defense, who emphasizes effort, and who has been doing a much better job managing these rotations. First of all, starting Jaden Ivey is an obvious one. That was something Monty didn't do. But also starting Tim Hardaway Jr., who you can pull the plug on him if his shot's not there, as the night, and insert Mikal Beasley off the bench, who is one of the league's best three-point shooters, was top 3 last year on a very high volume. He's a sniper. Yeah. And tonight, 3 things I always mention that we need to win in order to win the game. We lost the rebounding battle horrifically, 43 to 31.
Yeah.
If we would have had Cat's 13 rebounds, guess what? We would have won by 1. So we would have won the rebounding by 1. So maybe we would have won the game. But assists, 27. I always talk about hitting that 30 assist mark. That's the nature of our team. Ball movement predicates easy open shots. We didn't do that tonight. And then free throw shooting. 59.3% from the line.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the most disgusting stat. I actually, right when the game started tweeting that my favorite thing hearing about all Knicks metrics is that we're leading the lead in free throw percentage. Tonight, we stunted up. We shot like an RJ Barrett free throw line night stat with 59%. Absolutely horrific. It's across the team. The whole team played bad defense overall. It was probably Sims' worst defensive night. We couldn't guard the 3-point line. They were killing us on ball screens. You
Yeah.
know, it happens. But Joker dropped career high, like 58. They lost to the Wizards tonight, broke their 14-game losing streak. So bad things happen across the NBA every single night. On any given day, a bad team can be a good team. So I'm not too bad about this. I just want to see it bounce back Monday against the Raptors.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree with you. Well said, well said. Any day a bad team could beat a good team. This team, we beat them 16 games in a row. On top of that, the Knicks have been on the winning streak. So Knicks have to be aware that when you're playing this well and you're at home and you're starting to be on the news and you're starting to be in a news cycle, you're going to be hunted. You're going to be hunted, especially the way we're beating teams and beating the Pistons over the years. So I feel like we kind of came into this game expecting to work our way into the game, and the Pistons came into the game from the jump with bad intentions, and we didn't start playing with bad intentions until maybe like 4 or 5 minutes in. I think the Pistons got on like a 13-2 run or something until the Knicks finally started to wake up. And like you said, Lee, everybody was bad defensively. The first wide open three from Tim Hardaway Jr., who was OG Anunoby's man, was from Tim Hardaway Jr., who was OG Anunoby's man, who just after having like an overall really good defensive night, first player since Patrick Ewing to have 4 blocks and 2 steals on back-to-back nights. After having a night like that, still had a great night, but the first open three was Tim Hardaway Jr. After that, it was a lot of turnovers from Brunson, who had to take the lion's share of the offense. I think that caused a lot of the fast breaks to happen. Also, nobody shot well after Brunson's 31. Everybody was atrocious from the 3-point line. OG Anunoby was bad from 3. Mikal Bridges was bad from 3. Deuce McBride, who's been really good all year from 3, was bad from 3. I think that everybody was just adjusting to not having the spacing they were accustomed to without Karl-Anthony Towns and trying to live life that way, and it just really caught up to them. So we had a lot of work to do, and we eventually got to it. It was just the Pistons responded, man. You got to give those guys credit. The Pistons responded because there was parts where I'm looking at the Knicks play defense. I'm like, wow, the defense is on a string. They're helping each other. They're rotating for the rotator. Precious Achiuwa was in there playing center with OG Anunoby and Josh Hart and McBride, and he was making multiple efforts. I'm like, wow, the defense could look really, really good. And we cut it to like 4-2 a few times, and we just couldn't get over the hump. We couldn't do it. And I think a lot of that had to do with just the energy exerted. I think that's probably what contributed to the low free throw percentage too. The flying around on defense all day long kind of probably might have took the legs out of them.
Yeah, I think games like this, they just exist. Every team has them. It's unfortunate that it was against a team on Knicks homecoming night. To me, that's the biggest disappointment. But the Pistons are not the Wizards. I need to repeat this again. I just look at how the Pistons have competed every game throughout the schedule. Even though they're under 500, they have a lot of fight. I believe they won 14 games last season. They've already run 9. Tonight was number 10. So they're definitely already off the bat a much better defensive effort, a defensive team, effort team, energy team. They don't quit. Yeah. And I think Cade Cunningham is emerging as a superstar. He's right on the cusp of being a superstar, damn near averaging a triple-double. I believe he's like 4 stats away, like 1 assist and 3 rebounds away from averaging a triple-double on great shooting splits. So what are you going to do? It happens. We didn't have our best offensive player. And maybe you could even argue our best all-around player and Karl-Anthony Towns. So the offense is going to look very different. The defense is going to look very different. And Sims had an off night. If Sims is plugging in as a starter and he plays the worst game of the season, it's going to be a long night when you're playing as a team that has a lot of good wings and streaky shooters But when those shooters are on, shooting as they did tonight, and we're leaving them wide open, it's a recipe for a loss. This shit happens. I'm not too upset about it. But if we start losing 2 in a row, or we get blown out the next game, then the trends are what I'm focusing on. Long-term trend, not necessarily single losses.
Yeah, and Sims didn't even play it. Sims played 3 minutes. So we'll get into the other players, Precious and Ariel, because they played more minutes. I don't know. I feel like Tibs was going for different looks today, but that's one thing I did notice, that Sims didn't play a lot of minutes. Also, what I noticed today was the coach seemed like very deliberately did 2 things that the Knicks kind of he attacked 2 weaknesses that I feel like the Knicks are kind of weak at usually. One is transition defense. As soon as the game started, they were out. They were just in transition instantly. And we're going to have to watch out for that versus Atlanta, because Atlanta kind of did the same thing to us too. That's kind of been a little bit of a weakness when we don't have the athletes to keep up with people's running. Sometimes you kind of get caught up. But I think Precious actually makes us have the athletes to catch up. We just have to still produce offensively. But that's one thing he attacked. And 2, he really attacked our corner threes. I don't like the way they were passing to the corner was crazy to me. There was cross court passing to mans and for open threes, and that was really deliberate, I think, because the Tom Thibodeau defense, you're gonna pack your way to the paint. There's always gonna be one corner on the weak side that's open, and they attacked that religiously, especially in the first half. And then once the Knicks started to play defense for real, they was already in a rhythm, and you can't give teams like that rhythm to get confident and go. You gotta shut off that faucet early. Otherwise, you could have a long night, and that's exactly what happened today. We waited too long to shut off the faucet, and we had a long night defensively, for sure.
Yeah, the idea of rhythm, I think, is the most important, because, as I mentioned, this is not a consistent 3-point shooting team, and the shooters they have outside of, what's his name, Beasley, they're all streaky. So if you allow them to get hot, they become really dangerous, because they also have a decent pick and roll game, which Cade, I thought he really exploited Brunson today on pick and roll, both when Brunson was finding Brunson on ball and trapping Brunson as a low man on the pick and roll. It got him in a lot of trouble. And I think it really took him out of his game and frustrated him too with how physical Detroit was with him on both sides of the ball. And I think he got a little bit in his head. He was arguing and whining about calls way more than I prefer to see him do. And when he starts losing his cool, it was a little bit contagious. I think you saw Josh Hart. Josh Hart get a little frustrated as well. So it's a mental lapse, but again, this is not the Washington Wizards. This isn't like tonight with a Nuggets loss to the Wizards. This is a very good Detroit Pistons team that just doesn't have a lot of talent, but they do have a lot of heart.
Yeah, what did you think about Precious Achiuwa's minutes? Because Precious Achiuwa has come back to us. This is the second game back. He pretty much was the backup center, but then started the third quarter. Saw some flashes of things. Still some things I feel like he needs to work on. But what did you think of Precious Achiuwa's minutes?
Timing's off on everything. Rebounding, shooting, offensive rebounding, putbacks. The timing is off across the board. That'll come with feel and reps. I think he will replace Sims' minutes completely in the lineup once Cat's back. But what I liked about him, and what I've always liked about him since his time in Miami and Toronto, is he plays well no matter who else is on the floor. And I think you really saw Bridges play his best basketball, both guarding on and off ball, when he was sharing the court with Precious. I thought this was actually one of Bridges' better games defensively, and it came minutes where he was sharing with Precious Achiuwa at the 5. So I think Precious is showing that he can be a really dynamic, flexible defender no matter what other wings he's playing with, and it gives us a different look that's able to switch 2 through 5 on the perimeter. Unfortunately, it was a little too late tonight by the time the third quarter rolled around, because again, turn of a night, we let them get in a rhythm from the perimeter.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. The shooting, he doesn't have the confidence to shoot like he did before. He's only kind of going at the rim, but defensively, having him paired with other defensive guys, especially when he was with OG and Bridges at the same time, it seemed like his presence and his switchability and his activity like injected like a juice in everybody else. And you saw Bridges kind of get a block on a 3-point shot, which you haven't really seen a lot of this day. OG pumped up his game playing next to his old buddy from Toronto. It seemed like it was infectious for the team. It just wasn't. I think it just wasn't sustainable. I think we just exerted too much energy a little bit too late. But I think that part gave me some feels like, all right, we lost this game, but Precious with more reps. I can see how this can benefit us. I can see how we can inject some life into this team on the defensive end. He just needs to get into more rhythm.
Yeah, I think about the way that the Pistons were scoring. A lot of their wide open threes were in transition, and a lot of those transition opportunities came from the Knicks missing. And when the Knicks are shooting 32% from the perimeter and they're a top 3-point shooting team, tonight they shot 11 of 34.
Yeah.
That's going to lead to long rebounds, and that's going to lead to a lot of the open threes that the Pistons got. I think those bounce passes that Cade Cunningham was employing and with different shooters, the skip passes too. I think those will always be there, but Knicks will gamble and allow those type of passes to happen and really just try to stay in front of their man. But I think that the real emphasis on the Knicks need to hit their 3-point shots so that those misses don't become long rebounds and provide wide open threes on the other end.
Yeah, it's like they got used to the cat spacing, man. That cat spacing is a doozy. That cat spacing just opens everything
Cheat code.
up. Hmm?
It's a cheat code.
Yeah, it's definitely a cheat code. I think a lot of the turnovers in that first quarter were just the Knicks trying to figure out the rhythm of how to play with other starters without Cat being there to spread the floor. And it was like, oh, wait a minute. Those passing lanes to the corner that Brunson used to go to aren't as open as they used to. So it's like, all right, now it's kind of getting back into last year's rhythm where I have to take jumpers over tightly contested double teams and pocket passes in smaller spaces. Like you pretty much have to kind of calibrate on the fly while this team is going at you 100 hard, really hard. And I think it took like a quarter for them to kind of get used to the spacing.
I agree. Good point.
Yeah. Yo, shout out to Migo too. Migo on TikTok. If you have any questions, Migo, Brianna, Keith, Damien on TikTok. If you have any questions or comments about this Knicks Pistons game, let me know. I'll read it on screen. Also, Stanley Novak picks for Timmy, Knicks Yak, Alexander, everybody who's rocking the KOT show. Welcome. If you want to go into Discord is open. Just hit that link and you get into the Discord. You can talk to us live on the KOT show. Phil was very happy to see Ariel Hakaporti. What did you think of Ariel's game?
Defense is a lot of work. I think my brain said it best. Every time he plays, there's like one or two highlight moments, even if it's not completed, that you really just are like, wow, this guy really has a ceiling that hasn't been tapped into yet. I don't think it will come until he gets really consistent minutes, and I don't know when that's going to happen based on our center rotation right now. But he's a freak athlete. He's a great lob threat. It was really nice to see Brunson score a career high amount of lob passes that were successfully thrown down. And I think one of them might have been an and one. I can't remember 100%. Maybe the Precious one. But Hot Porty is a hell of an athlete. If you develop a mid-range game, even a catch and shoot like set shot, he could be really deadly because he has a decent handle from the free throw line end. He didn't get in 2 or 3 strides into the basket. I think there's opportunity for him to really evolve his game where I don't think that is capable with Mitch and Sims. I like Hot Porty's offensive awareness. It's just the defense that I think is going to keep him out of the rotation until it's improved upon.
Yeah, you know, there's tools on defense too. That's the thing. Like, there's a few times where his verticality is really good. There's a few times where he kind of jumps straight up in the air and intimidates guys and doesn't foul. He does a good job of just intimidating people at the rim. He did a good job of Cade a couple of times doing that. It's just a repetition to play team defense that needs work sometimes, because sometimes and that's not even just him, because everybody was bad at that today, to be honest with you, at certain points of the game. But like, I think there was like a part where him and OG both went to the roll man and left Cade open for like a uncontested jumper. But it's like things like that, this just has to be worked out, how to play proper team defense and rotate to the perfect spot. And just the multiple efforts. the multiple efforts from Precious, it really stands out. It really stands out from the center position. Like there was one play where he had his back to the basket, but he was like facing one corner. He was facing like the corner, like the 3-point corner. He's facing one corner. He contested that guy, completely does a 180, goes to the other side of the rim, and then contests that guy, and that caused him to miss. And the Knicks were in a fast break after that. And I'm just like, once again, those are those type of plays that aren't on Sports Center. That doesn't count as a block, but is really difficult to do, and it takes like elite athleticism, elite court awareness, the ability to contort your body, make split-second decisions on a bang offensive play to like affect the defense properly to cause the Knicks to go on the fast break, like stuff like that. It's like, Precious is definitely felt defensively for sure.
There are also things that Knicks fans like us really respect. Those are the things that Knicks fans, I think, pay attention to and really care about in our, not just that our stars do, but that our role players do as well. Those type of things at the Garden, really roaring. There were moments during Precious's moments where I felt the energy rise in the building. I thought we were going to ride it to a win, but that leads me to another one of my criticisms tonight. I don't put a blame on really anything but happenstance. I guess perimeter defense is probably the main responsibility, which is a team-wide responsibility. But to me, Tibs, I've been very complimentary of you this season, bro, but Jalen Brunson, 44 minutes in a loss. Like, at some point, you got to join the other 29 teams in the association and realize that sometimes when you're starting lineup, whether it's because a key piece is missing or a couple guys don't have it and their shot is off, like Bridges tonight, and even OG, why not just extend the rotation a little bit and see if you can get a spark with someone at the end of the bench? Tyler Kolek, 4 minutes. Really, I really thought that some of Brunson's 44 could have been allocated to Tyler Kolek, who only scored 4 points, and I thought it was kind of effective. I thought he was at least active on defense.
I agree.
So I don't know why the leash was so short and he was pulled so early. He did it with hot porty. I liked it. Okay, Sims doesn't have it. Early on, you can see he doesn't have the timing on the rebounding. He's not playing the defense that you expect from him as a starter. Give Hot Porty minutes. Give Precious minutes. Cool. But why not also do that with your wing rotation when a lot of guys are out? Why not have Patom Dadiat or Pollock have some minutes against a team that you can take advantage of? There's a lot of guys here that don't either have a lot of offensive awareness, like the Ron Hollins, or even Jaden Ivey, or somebody who is a great defender. Cade Cunningham can be exploited in pick and roll. You can target him for some opportunities with Tyler Kolek. I don't understand why Tibs doesn't extend rotations when your starters aren't giving you what you need. He's like the only coach that I watch on a regular basis that does that. And it's a little frustrating. It's more frustrating than Jalen Brunson, 44 minutes, another 44-minute game in December with a loss.
Yeah, I agree. It's funny because Jalen Brunson this season has probably played the least amount of minutes. So overall, I feel like the Knicks have just taken advantage of their depth and controlled his minutes. But on the flip side, like you said, Lee, games like today, when you don't have campaign, and like you said, Tyler Kolek didn't play bad. He came in, hit a three. I felt like he had a good defensive stand against Cade Cunningham. Cade Cunningham tried to draw a foul, get to the rim. He put two hands up, made him miss. I think he was like a +4 on the night too. I thought he at least earned another 6 minutes. You know what I mean? It was like, whoa, maybe I missed something because I'm not the coach mastermind that Tibs is, but I thought he played pretty well in his little stint. So I don't know what happened there, but I completely agree with you. Especially, I still go back to Patom Dadiat, who played really good defense on Colin Sexton versus Utah. Shut him down when nobody else was able to. Hits a three and never gets back in the game. Yep. I don't know what's happened. He hasn't even seen time since that game, which is, and now he definitely won't see time since Precious is back. But yeah, I don't get it all the time. I don't really complain about it because we're winning so much.
Right.
But today I was just like, huh? Okay. Cool. 4 minutes. Interesting.
I agree.
Yeah. And salute to the chat, man. What's these comments? It's not that much breakdown. We lost. We laid an egg in the first quarter. We got out rebounded. There's too many turnovers. Cat wasn't here. Don't think it was still an excuse. I still feel like we had enough to beat them without
I do
Cat.
too.
For
I agree.
sure. But I think we took them too lightly for the first minute, and at the same time, I feel like we tried to work our way into the game, and they punched us in the mouth immediately.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to the people in chat. Shout out to George Jones. George Jones says, "Don't be just so dramatic." Chat. Stanman says Mikal sucks. Okay, well that explains George's comment. Oh man. Jay Cruz says our coach will not play more guys if you are losing. He just won't do it. I'd ride with him, but this is undeniable. Yeah. Nah, you're right. I ride with the coach too. He's done a good job with creating a culture here, but there's still little things that annoy me. I mean, there's gonna be something it's gonna be things that annoy you by whatever coach you have, and the playing too many guys, too many minutes and times is one of those things for us. All right. Felicia says Jay Ellis, sad we couldn't win on Hall of Fame ceremony, but Cat was missed. Obviously, blessings to you, Jay Ellis and Lee. Appreciate that, Felicia. Appreciate the comment for the support, for sure.
Much love.
Word. Stanley Novak says the question should be is who in Westchester should be a Knick? Is that the question?
Put Tom Dadia.
Is he in Westchester?
I thought he was assigned to Westchester.
Oh, was he?
He's been like back and forth over the last week.
Okay.
Like multiple times back and forth.
Oh, he's on the
Probably
boost program, yo. Man, if somebody, man, I bet money Pacome is gonna come back a monster, bro. Pacome might be a monster. I feel like Pacome is gonna be the next Deuce in like 2 years.
With his size, oh hell. Watch out, bro.
Yeah.
With his size. Oh shit.
I feel like Pacome might be the next Deuce in 2 years, yo. Pacome's gonna be a monster.
Man. He's already very talented defensively. That could be OG part 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Cheap OG too. You already know what's gonna happen. He's gonna get I feel like I already see what's gonna happen. He's gonna be here. Somebody's gonna get traded. We're gonna be mad, and then he's gonna be signed for a 4-year, $11 million deal right after the person is traded, and we're gonna be like, Leon Rose is a genius. He did it again. Like I can already see it. Yo, I can already see it, bro. I can already see it. Pacome the French Knox, but with more promise.
Way more.
Alexander.
Way more. It's almost kind of a slight to call him Knox, but you know, shout out my boy Knox, man.
Yeah, I know what you mean though, because he's a lanky, long guy who can shoot threes. He just, as we said, and you said many times, Lee, his motor is 20 times bigger than Knox's ever will be.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, I don't have much to talk about this game, man. This is
me neither, man.
I have nothing left to say. I just said we got who's next. Next game is versus the Hawks. Next game is versus the Hawks. And
wait,
I want this game.
I thought it was the Raptors.
Oh, is it the Raptors? My bad. Maybe I'm just anxious to play the Hawks again because we got smacked.
We got RJ Barrett.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, all right. Is this game? Man, it'd be great to get Ebony to do a preview game. Would this be? What game is this? Is this in Toronto or New York?
Yes, it's in Toronto.
Ooh, we going to Canada too. Going to Draketown. All right, we gotta do our thing. All right. Well, let's get this W. Show RJ who's boss. And stop this streak. The one thing I will say about the Knicks is we don't go on many 2-game losing streaks. And we certainly rarely go on 3-game losing streaks. I feel like we might average like 1 3-game losing streak a season or so. So I expect the Knicks to bounce back. Hopefully Cat is back. He's day-to-day. What is his injury, though? I feel like my Twitter alerts aren't alerting because I didn't even see.
Is it something with his foot?
I didn't even see that he was out until game time. I was like, what the hell? Don't my alerts are on, brother. What's happening?
Knee.
Hmm?
It's his knee.
Oh, it's his knee. Day to day. I don't like knee stuff. I guess it's knee better than foot. I feel like knee is better than foot.
Yes, foot's bad.
Yeah, foot is bad. Foot is bad. Sam Manson issues with patella. All right. All right, yo, short and sweet. I don't see nobody in the Discord. Discord is linked up, but I guess nobody wants to talk about this loss. I guess I get it. No one wants to talk about losses. All right. Any thoughts?
Man, great to see my main man, A. Curry, bro. I'm gonna say every chance I get. I asked Wilson. I really wanted him back to the game. I got it. It was cool to see him in my because I'm saying this because in the course of my research, writing this piece on James Dolan, going back in all these articles during that time, man, he got really just like destroyed in the press.
Yeah.
Eddie Curry, that, and he never lived up to the package that was sent out for him. We were talking pregame, those 2 draft picks, first rounders, unprotected, end up becoming Joakim Noah and LaMarcus Aldridge for the Blazers and the Bulls, which is unfortunate. Both obviously better players than Curry, but Curry didn't make that trade. Isaiah made that trade. So that was a bad part on Isaiah's part. Eddie Curry came here and really he played decent. I think one year he had like 18 and 8 or 18 and 9. He was our best player for a period of time and was just couldn't stay healthy. But he also, like, man, his daughter and his girl got murdered. Like, there was a lot was going on. There was a lawsuit where his ex-limo driver said that he like tried to sexually assault him. There was a bunch of like really difficult personal things that were going on outside of a court, plus his weight and his heart issues that were happening as well. So, man, I'm just glad to see him happy and healthy now. I believe he's doing some assistant coach work on the college level. So I'll always root for Eddie Curry. I'm gonna do everything I can to have him on the show because I want to hear from his perspective what the Knicks were like during the darkest days of the Isaiah era.
Yeah, for sure. Good to see Eddie Curry back and happy. Good to see a lot of alumni from different eras, 60s, 90s. Good to see J.R. Smith back because I know we mentioned that before, but J.R. Smith is a guy you kind of surprises back. And shown because of the way they were traded, but I guess it's a new regime, so all's well that ends well. There's water under the bridge, I guess. So it's good to see all those guys back with Allen Houston, with Clyde Frazier, with everybody. Family Anthony Mason. It was good to see. I wish we got that win. I wish we would have got the win, but it was good to see everybody back in the building.
And I want to say one more thing. Jerry Lucas, some MSG needs to make sure that they ship over a brand new flat screen TV fully loaded with the MSG app and all of NBA League Pass so that man can watch some NBA games. He said he doesn't the Knicks in Ohio. Sir, you are a NBA legend. What? Not only are you 50, they interviewed him. I think it was at the end of the second quarter of the start of a third. And he said he doesn't have to watch the Knicks because he doesn't get Knicks games in Ohio. Bruh, someone hook that man up so he can watch a team that he helped win a championship with in 1973. Get him a TV in the app so he can watch the team that he helped rise a banner to the rafters.
Yo, bro, Dolan needs to get his jet and fly over there himself and install that joint, man. He can't have that man without no damn cable. Watch the Knicks.
Unbelievable.
On a chip, he can't get MSG Go.
That's blasphemous, bro. I can't believe it.
Someone get this man some MSG Go. Damn it.
And make sure it works.
Yeah, make sure it works. Maybe make sure it works first.
I mean,
at least somebody get him the illegal hookup with the illegal stream link, at least.
Meth streams.
Exactly. You know what? We need to follow him on Twitter to make sure he got everything he needs. So that's
man, it's crazy, bro. I mean, this guy was one of the top 50 all-time players chosen. I mean, a 7-time All-Star, NBA champion with the Knicks, 3-time All-NBA first team, 2-time All-NBA second team, NBA Rookie of the Year in 1964, All-Star Game MVP 1965. Come on, get this man the respect he deserves, man. We're talking about a legend.
Alexander said he said just look at the Google box score, not the refresh.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said that.
God. That's how I look at the game when I'm on the train and I can't. I'm like, oh my God, what's happening now? Refresh. What the hell? You doing that at home, brother?
Unbelievable, man.
Oh my God.
Bruh. James Dolan, do your thing, bro.
Yeah,
do your thing,
bro. Do your thing.
Do your thing, man.
One more good D for Knicks players. All right.
Facts, 100%.
Oh man, I got some bruh picks too. I got some bruh picks. I got 2 bruh picks today. One bruh pick. I'm sorry, Sims. I'm part of the Sims hive. I think me, Ebony, and I are the guy who pushed Lee into the Sims hive.
100%. I was way off. I was all the way out and all the way wrong.
Right. But I'm only preferencing that because I'm about to give him a bruh. And it's funny because I want Sims to be more aggressive. That's been
for sure.
That's been my prayer for him. But he tried to drive to the basket and got cut off, and then fell and dribbled it off his foot.
Bruh.
And I was like, ooh. And I don't think I saw him back in the game after that. I think after he dribbled off his foot off the drive, coach was like, "Who told you to take more than 3 dribbles?" I never saw that man again the whole night. So that's my first bruh. My second bruh, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Does the ref have it out for Josh Hart? Was he like on the ref all night? Because Cade Cunningham claims he got fouled, and the Knicks scored on the other end. We were down 7. Cade Cunningham is barking at the ref, animated, screaming for like a good 30, 40 seconds on camera, visibly going at him, face to face.
Mm-hmm.
No tech. I looked at the replay of Josh Hart's ejection. Josh Hart doesn't even look like he's making eye contact with the ref. He looked like he's like turning away. He might have been talking smack, but it was nothing close to what as demonstrative as what was happening with Cade. And he used that moment to give him a second tech, to toss him out the game. And so to give him a free throw. So now instead of down 7, down 8. And that's not the reason we lost, because we lost way before because of the first quarter. But like, damn, that's a huge momentum killer. That's just a huge momentum killer and a weird time to call the tech, especially because it didn't seem like it was a 10th as demonstrative as what Cade Cunningham did. It was crazy. That's a broad pick for that.
Bruh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he's ever had a reputation of being someone who is overly demonstrative with the referees. I do think, though, the Knicks as a group were bitching about a lot of calls tonight, especially Brunson, which I mentioned earlier, which is out of character for him. He was really complaining about getting really physical and beat around in the paint on his drives and his floaters. And I think 1 3-point shot as well. So maybe it was a team thing, and the refs were just kind of fed up with how the Knicks, including Tibs, were yelling at them all night.
No, Josh Hart definitely has a reputation with the refs, though. Like, because there was a point last year where he made a bet that he wouldn't get another tech because he was leading the league in techs. So he definitely has a reputation for sure that he openly said he needs to work on, but I didn't see it. I didn't see the need for that. That was just weird to me.
Okay, fair enough.
All right, but those are my bro picks. I guess my ooh picks are the Legends night. I'll give it. I'll give it ooh to the Legends. There we go.
It's kind of funny, isn't it? Seeing some players like Tim Thomas, who had like an unceremonious like tenure with the Knicks, where he's had a lot of losing, and then he got embarrassed by Kenyon Martin before that playoff series. Then got injured in the only playoff series in 2004. Only played 1 game and then didn't play again. Like, he didn't really have that much of a career, but they bring him back. It's kind of the same thing with Eddie Curry too. Like, all these guys were during the dark ages, but Tim Thomas was like, at least Eddie Curry was at some point good. Tim Thomas was always just kind of like a Jared Jeffries level role player. He had 3 ball, but he
wasn't Jared Jeffries level.
He never lived up to his potential. He was a store.
Yeah.
Store. but he was an underwhelming scorer. He never ended up being Rashard Lewis, which I thought he was going to end up being.
Yeah, I felt like he was like Courtney Lee, but like with more height.
Bigger. Yeah, bigger. Yeah.
Yeah, cause I always felt like I always looked at Courtney Lee like, yo, I don't know why Courtney Lee isn't nicer. I feel like he should be nicer than what he is. But and I feel like that's the same thing with Tim Thomas. Like he will have these games like, oh wow, and then you wouldn't see that for a while. But he never really like, I don't know. It was interesting. Put them in the same bucket. Mark, yeah. Cause I remember legit being like, oh yeah, my ass back then. Yes, we got Tim Thomas.
I was as happy to get Tim Thomas as I was to get rid of Keith Van Horn. So I was just like, hell, get rid of Van Horn's bum ass. I hated that guy. Damn, he was an ass.
Oh my God. I rooted for all of them. I wasn't a super fan, but I was like, not bad. Keith Van Horn, not bad. He could shoot, you know?
It looks like he had his career high, Tim Thomas, with the Knicks. He averaged 16 points, but
Right.
only played 24 games in that season.
And now,
I think they traded Van Horn for him midway through the season. I mean, he got injured game one of the playoffs, if I remember right.
oh man. Oh, I'm forgetting somebody right now. That was on the tip of my tongue I wanted to mention. Tim Thomas, Keith Van Horn. Oh, Al Buckets, yo. Another guy that frustrated me that I loved, yo. Al
Harrington?
Yeah, man. The hanging on the rim text was killing me with Al Harrington back in the day, man.
No, Al Harrington could ball.
Yes.
Harrington, he could ball. He had a 3-level game, man. He was talented.
Yeah, Al Harrington was one of those guys who's like, you should be
Agreed.
all-star, but I don't know why you're not an all-star. It's so weird. I don't know what was missing.
Yeah. He also had his career high with the Knicks, averaged 21 in the 08 to 09 season.
I guess I put him in the same place as Michael Beasley. It's like, man, you can score, but it never all came together at once, type of thing.
I remember the very first time that I traveled to New York as an adult. I was like out of college, and it was during his season in New York. And I'd gotten into LaGuardia at like 1 a.m. I was on the train going to my friend's house who I was staying with, and there was a poster of Al Harrington. Like they were promoting him as like the star of the Knicks on the subway, and I was like, "Whoa, this is so cool! I wonder if I run into him on the train one day." I never did, and he never really was as cool as I thought he was either. But it was cool to see him as a promoted featured player on a team that also had David Lee and Nate Robinson, all those guys.
Exactly. Yeah, it was. The little headband looked like a Ninja Turtle. Teenage Mutant Ninja.
That's hilarious.
Oh man. Oh yeah, David Lee is my guy too. But yeah, we going down memory lane now. I guess we lost now. We got nothing but memories to talk about. Al Harrington, Mark Bourgeois says Al Harrington, Danilo Gallinari, Wilson Chandler was the squad. Yo, that was my squad though, yo.
I like that squad a lot too.
That was my squad. When the Melo trade happened, I was like, all right. Danilo, Wilson. We got to keep at least one of these. One of these guys is trading. Yeah. There's no way they're going to trade both of them. And I looked and they trade both of them and the kitchen sink. And I was like, what the
I was pissed they kept, of all players, Landry. He was the one I wanted to go. I hated Landry Fields. I was like, give it to Landry, please. Keep Danilo or Wilson. Damn it. Yo. They actually had go ahead.
Now I was psyched. They traded Mozgov too. I was like, y'all took both of them and Mozgov? Like, I was mad.
I don't know if
Timothy Mozgov is.
I don't know if you saw it, but Adrian Wojnarowski was on 7 p.m. in Brooklyn with Melo.
I was about to mention that.
And they, I don't know if you watched the segment, but they talked about the Carmelo Anthony trade with Leon Rose when he was his agent. And he said that Dolan basically was willing to give them whatever he wanted. And Masai, who was in with the Denver at the time and orchestrated that trade, knew that and was like, all right. After the deal was agreed upon, he then said, all right, I want Mozgov as well. And so he basically told Dolan, if you don't include Mozgov, no deal. And he bluffed using New Jersey at the time and Nets as a decoy to boost how much Dolan was willing to give. And it worked to perfection, and Dolan ended up giving all of her depth up for Melo.
So New Jersey was so the New Jersey rumors were fake.
They were never as strong as reported. It was being used as leverage to get everything out of Dolan. New Jersey was interested, but they were more prone on signing him as a free agent, allowing it to wait instead of trading the house for him at that time.
It hurts even more. It hurts even
Yep.
more.
Bruh.
We could have had
Dolan,
Wilson with Melo
And Mozgov.
and Mozgov.
I think if we would have signed him outright in free agency, I think they would have won a championship.
Yeah, nah,
I
for
think
sure.
so.
Because we had Felton still. We had Mills. Yeah, man, that would have been. I mean, probably would have had to let go of some people or trade some people for cap space or something, but it wouldn't have been the whole team.
I don't think we would have signed Stoudemire because they would have used that money on Melo, and then we probably would have kept David Lee. And David Lee went on to win a championship with the Warriors and was an all-star with the Warriors again. So that would have been a really nice squad around Melo.
Yeah, man, so sad.
It is.
You
And then maybe you don't waive Chauncey. Maybe you keep Chauncey too. I don't know,
Oh.
man. It could have worked out in our favor. What if, right? The great what
Yeah,
if.
I mean, the fact of the matter is though, I felt like Chauncey to me was the perfect guy to play next to Melo. It was just too late. It was just too late because after we cut him, he hardly had a career after we cut him.
Correct. I think he went to Clippers and then like faded out.
Yeah, but that was the guy to pair next to Melo that would have got a championship because that was the guy that Melo respected, played defense, could hit that clutch three. I started calling Brunson Big Shot Brunson because of Chauncey Billups, Big Shot Billups. Like I feel like that would have been the team for sure, like a year or two earlier. But I love Iverson.
Mark B.
Chauncey was the
Mark B in the chat said Masai fleeces twice, first for Melo and then for Bargnani. Not only is that true, guess who was the agent for both those players? Leon Rose. He had a first-hand account of just how James operated. So when he came here, he did the exact opposite.
Yeah, that's a fact. That is a fact. He did a good job trading, and
unbelievable.
The one trade that I was against ended up being good too. So
which one?
Huh?
Cat?
Yeah.
Cat?
Not that was I would say I was against. Yeah, I wouldn't have done the trade.
I would say you were against it. I was the only one that was for it.
I wouldn't have done the trade. I wanted to see one more year with the same team. But honestly, without Hartenstein, we still might have been in trouble. If like in hindsight, I feel like with just Randall and no like Mitch and no like real center position, just Sims, I feel like Hartenstein was that guy that probably would have helped us more than anything.
Randall and Sims would have been ass for sure.
Yeah,
it would have been. We'd be tearing our hair out every post game with those two in the front court.
Yeah. I agree. Hindsight is 20/20 sometimes. But shout out to Leon Rose. I'm glad you're making decisions, not me.
Me too. Yes. If you think about it, I mean, I think he's one of the greatest execs of all time. I really do. The roster that he came in with and what he turned it into, some genius level shit. I'm highly impressed.
Agreed.
I know we got to win a championship in order for that to really be solidified, but on paper, and he's not just the best GM in Knicks history, at least post championship. He's one of the best of all time and within modernity in the 21st century.
Yeah, he needs the hardware. I think it's just the ability to assemble a team, which is probably one of the best signs of a leader. Is a guy who can assemble a team, keep them motivated, and going in the same direction.
Yep,
he's definitely done that. Assemble a team who's an expert cap guy, expert coaches. Work with the coaches to get extra players. Yeah, a lot of good moves.
Yeah.
Excuse me. For sure. All right, yo. Picks for Timmy says older JK was cool during next tape. I still was pissed. It's funny. I'm such a Knicks fan, yo. I was still pissed when Jason Kidd came here. I was mad.
Why?
Because he was the enemy.
Oh, okay. With the Nets?
I was pissed off how fast everybody forgot. I'm like, this dude was on the Nets and hated us for years. And then he comes with the Knicks. Everybody's like, "Yeah, we got Jason Kidd." I'm just like, am I the only one? I feel like I was the only one who was like, F this dude. Like, I still have a theory that he sabotaged the playoffs for us because he's still a Knick hater at the end of the day.
Yeah, it would kind of be like Trey Young coming to us in a few years because that '04 playoff series, he swept us. Not only did he sweep us, he outplayed Marbury, something brutal. Like it was two different styles of play. It was a player that played for himself and Marbury, and someone who made everyone better and just ran a perfect transition game in J Kidd.
Yeah, and he openly hated us. Like, openly. To the point where I feel like even years later, I think Kenyon Martin talked about that. Like how he openly hated us and relished in beating us every time. So I'm just like, I don't know. I didn't come up in the LeBron James era where like you played ball with your best friends and team up with your ops. I didn't come up in that era. Like let's skip down the street with my ops and
With my ops.
yeah, and get a Starbucks coffee after the game. I didn't come from that era. Did not come from that era. I did not understand it at all.
That's fair.
But whatever. It's funny because I feel like I still feel weird about him even now he's gone. Like I feel like Kenny Martin would come back, and I feel like if the Knicks ever invited Jason Kidd, he'd be like, nah.
Maybe, yeah.
Still feel like he'd be like, nah. If we sent him an invite, if he stopped coaching and the Knicks sent Jason Kidd an invite, I feel like he would say no, yo. Even though
Do you think there's anyone else Do you think there's anyone else besides him and Oakley that would say no?
Xavier?
Xavier McDaniels?
Yeah. Like I feel like he played well and got traded after he thought he was going to stay here. I can see him saying,
Okay.
Mm,
Maybe Brandon Jennings. I feel like he had an awful time with us.
yeah, Brandon Jennings is. I don't know if you ever seen Jennings on podcasts afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
He seems very volatile.
Yeah.
Very like I'll spaz on you without a second and doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. And flashback for those you don't know, so Knick of Time started right like in around the when did we start? 2016, 2017. We started the day that Phil Jackson brought like Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah over, and Brandon Jennings was there. And flashback, KOT was one of the first successful Instagram pages back in the day that also did podcasts and stuff. And we did like branded Instagram pages to the fact where people would DM me, ask me how I made my Instagram page look like that.
Very cool.
And now everybody does it. Nobody knows why I do it, but
Talk your shit.
Nobody knows why there's mad Brandon Knicks Instagram pages today. I'm the reason why there's mad Brandon Instagram pages today. Fun fact.
Hell yeah. Talk your shit, bro.
Fun fact. All right, but because of that, we kind of blew up. He started kind of gaining steam kind of fast back in the day, and I feel like there was a Brandon Jennings fan page that interacted with us, but I feel like Brandon Jennings was part of it. Because the day we started criticizing him and we followed him, I feel like he blocked us or did something to us. I don't remember exactly what it was. But it wasn't even like nothing crazy. I just criticized his game. And I think he was pissed.
Bro, he was awful with us. He was just a chucker. He was ass.
Yeah. He had moments. He had a lot of great moments, but he was inconsistent. But I mean, that was the epitome of that team. Inconsistent. Picks for Timmy says Charles Smith showed up tonight, so anything is possible. That is a good
True.
point, Timmy.
True.
That is a good point.
It is.
Alexander's, yo, the obvious, bro. Bargnani.
Bargnani, bro.
Bargnani. He would definitely ignore the invite. He would just, he would definitely leave that on red.
Total cheats.
Facts.
What an experience that was watching him, man. I'll be honest, I was fooled. I was hyped for it. I was like, hell, and I was like, oh, only Novak and Otambi? Hell yeah, let's go. Bargnani at the 5.
Yeah.
I was seeing visions of Cat and KP before I even knew who they were. I was like, small ball, shooting threes, spacing, yeah. And he was complete and utter ass cheats.
Facts. Dusty cheats.
Bro,
It was bad.
man, top 3 softest players to ever put on a Knicks jersey. He was so soft.
Yeah.
Man, he was soft.
He crumbled. Yeah, that's one of those things when you start to realize like there's players who aren't built for New York.
Alexander Buns Agnew.
Buns Agnew is crazy.
That's almost a pause. Alexander's hilarious, bro.
Buns Agnew.
Man.
Almost sounds like Buns Acne. I don't know. It's weird. All right. I'm thinking Buns Acne for some reason, but
that describes him.
Buns Acne? Yeah, that does describe. All right.
Man, total cheats.
Yeah, total cheeks. Yeah, I remember that. Mark says, remember when he shot that 3 during the game and Clyde was like, what is he doing, folks?
Yeah, I remember that. What is he doing, folks?
What is he doing, folks? He should have drew
Oh, man. What a bum. He's top 3 worst Knicks all time.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's a fact.
For sure.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
And Jerome James.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe Steve Francis, man. Oh, those are bad games.
Yeah. I kind of like Steve Francis for a second. They tricked me into thinking it was going to work.
In Houston, yeah. He came to us out of shape. He was, man, he had no motor. He didn't give a shit. He was like over it.
Yeah.
He was on his way to the NBA.
Yeah. All right. We had a little reminisce talk. That's the show.
It's a good night to do it.
Yeah, it's a good night to do it. We got beat by the freaking Pistons and ain't much to talk about.
And it's homecoming night.
Yeah, good time to reminisce. Homecoming night. I agree. All right, y'all. Yeah, what up, Gamer Channel? That's the show. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to the people in the chat. Picks for Timmy, Gamer Channel, Alexander, Fritz, you already know. Best Mod of Game, Nick Yak, Felicia.
Yep.
Hi, Felicia.
Love you, Fritz.
Adele Chapman. Everybody rocking with the show. If anybody is anybody on TikTok left? TikTok be out. They be like, I'm in and then I'm out. All right. That's the show, guys. Doug Takuda. Thank you for coming in. Oh, you left. That's our show. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be here next game, and make sure you're here after every game talking this basketball with us. Also, be sure check out Phil's show, Knicks Nightcap, every Thursday. So definitely check those out as well. They do a good job over there, so definitely want to check out 2 Styles of Knicks Talk. All right. Lee, let them know they can find you, sir.
At Twitter _Lee Escobedo, LEEESCOBEDO.
All right. Brandon Bargnani on TikTok. Make sure you meet the next post game. We'll be here after every game on Monday. All right, Brandon. You can find us at the KLT Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Twitter, the Knick of Time Show on Facebook, and where else can you find us? Instagram as well at the Knick of Time Show. All right. That is the show, guys. We are out of here, and as always,
shout out the World Wide West. Everywhere we go, we leave a worldwide mess.
The mess out here in these Knicks streets. That's the show. We are out of here. Peace.
New York, big city of dreams. New York, big city of dreams.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Thanks. Good show. Good show. Made some out of nothing.